Hey everybody. So this week's video is in response to a question that I get asked sometimes. It's about how can I make the most of my spiritual journey? How can I make the most of my self-work journey? How can I truly get started in getting from where I am in my life to where I want to be? What is like the most important thing for me to do or to know or to change? How do I begin? How do I, get there? The answer is something that's really clear. It's definitely specific, and it's maybe not the most glamorous, but that doesn't mean it's not effective. Okay. And so I'm going to explain to you how to do this, and then any questions that you have, leave me comments or send me a message. And I'm sorry that the camera's moving around a lot. I'm trying to deal with it. So the answer to this question is alignment. The word alignment. And you can go ahead if you don't already have a word of the year, or if you want to add this to the word that you have for this year, you can go ahead and do that, because alignment goes with every single word of the year. Alignment goes with everything. What the hell do I mean by that? Why does alignment go with everything? Well, because alignment really means getting into alignment. It means getting into a place where you are walking your talk, you are doing what you say you or want to be doing, you are in alignment with the person who you want to be inside, versus the way that things are going externally to you. So here's what I mean. Oftentimes when we are wanting to have, let's talk about spirituality in this context for a second. Oftentimes if we're wanting to have a more spiritual experience, or more spirituality in our life, or a better connection to the divine or to God or to our higher self or to our spirit guides or whatever, we just sit in this place of wanting it. And that's up in our mind, and it's also often in our heart. And we know we want more of it, but then we become paralyzed or halted or stopped, or we cease, or we don't move beyond the wanting into the actionable steps, into creating the thing that we want and to bringing it into our reality more. That's where the word alignment's going to help you, because what we're doing is we're taking the thing that we want and we're saying, how can I change my behavior? How can I modify what I'm doing, okay, in order to align with what I want inside? And how can I align with that externally in my external life, in my external world? So an example to continue with the spirituality thing would be to go like this. Well, I want to have more of a connection to the divine. I want to feel more spiritually engaged. I want that in my life more. I want to talk to my guides. I want to feel God or spirit or whatever, that presence in my world. So what would you do? Well, in order to take it from just a want and a wish that you have in your personal inner space and to make it part of your life, well, you have to start to do those things, right? If you want to start to talk to God more or talk to your spirit guides more, start talking to God and your spirit guides. If you want your life to feel more like steeped in ritual and spirituality and enriched in like that kind of thing, start to live that way a little bit more. And it can be in any capacity. You could start wearing like jewelry that feels spiritual to you. You could, like over here, it's a disaster, but I keep an altar on my dresser. I have 2 candles lit there right now. They're just always lit when I'm home or when I'm in that space. Okay? You can have the presence of the divine with you by taking a second and lighting a candle on purpose with the intention of adding spirituality into your space. Okay? You can just start to listen to spiritual podcasts or whatever the thing may be. Immerse yourself externally in what you want to have internally. And that's the easy step one, is to sort of start to like surround yourself aesthetically. And by that I don't just mean visually, okay? I mean like mentally, emotionally, like read books about the topics that you're interested in and go attend a service that's like in alignment with whatever you think you want your spirituality to be. And it can change. Put pictures up, wear things that resonate to you in a spiritual capacity, light some candles, start to act in alignment, right, with what you want your life to be like. Because if you want your life to be a certain way and you don't act in alignment with that, then your life isn't going to be that way. Again, a lot of my job is really focused on telling people things that are so obvious that you can't see them. And this doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. If I say something that's so obvious that you haven't seen it, that's normal. Most people don't realize that if they want more love in their life, they have to be more loving to everybody in their life, including themselves. Most people don't realize that if they want more spiritual connection, they just have to connect more spiritually. It's too obvious, right? But this is what alignment allows us to do. It allows us to say, okay, where do I feel disconnected or unhappy or not okay inside? And again, we're not talking like clinical levels of depression or anxiety or anything. In those situations, and in all situations really, everybody should be seeing a therapist. Everybody should be having some mental health help here. So definitely take care of that on that level as well. And in terms of like just in general, discord or being discontent or whatever, where am I not happy? Where am I not okay? And in what way am I living in alignment with the things that make me not okay? Because it works that way too, right? So like if we're not happy, but we continue to live in alignment with the things that make us keep us unhappy, rather than getting in alignment with the things that we desire to have more of for our happiness, then we're not aligning with what we want. We're aligning with what we don't want. And this is a thing that happens all the time too. A lot of the time we're accidentally staying in alignment with the things that make us unhappy and not okay because we're comfortable there, because we're used to it, because at least we know it. But we long for this other life or this other world or this other way of existing. And all we have to do, and I say all we have to do, and I want you to understand that I know this isn't like super easy, okay? But all we have to do, it's not easy, but it's simple, is to begin to make small changes that get us into alignment with what we do want. That will mean different things for different situations. A lot of times, though, it means like learning to stand up for yourself. It means learning to put yourself on your own priority list. It means learning to ask for help. It means learning to outsource the things you don't want to spend your time doing to somebody else. If you're always saying, I wanted to be an artist and I never got to do it, and I don't have time to take these art classes now, and I'm never going to get to do it. Well, you're in alignment with that story that you're never going to get to do it, and you're not in alignment with it's not too late and I can still have art in my life. So it's not easy, but it's simple. It's not easy to stop that dialogue in your head. You're used to it. You're used to, and a lot of us are, used to being the martyrs of our own stories because it's easier for us to be a victim or to be held down or to be told we can't and to just try to accept that but be sad about it than it is for us to say, no, wait a second. This is my one and only life and I'm going to do what I want. And I'm going to leave this unhealthy, damaging situation behind. And I'm going to make different choices that are in alignment with what I secretly want. That's scary because you could fail. Sure. But guess what's guaranteed? You're guaranteed to fail if you don't even try. And again, it's not easy. But it is this simple. Okay? So Do you want to be an artist, or do you want to have more art in your life? Great. Start by hanging up art that you like in your house. Start by watching Bob Ross videos on Netflix because they're all on there. Start by getting yourself a sketchbook or a journal. Get an ugly one so you don't feel pressured by what you put in it, and just draw or write in it. Start by going to a museum. When it's your day to pick the activity that you do with your spouse or your kids or whatever you do, pick something that you want to do. How often are we always making choices based on what we've made up that other people want? It's like a lot. And we always forget to ask ourselves, what do I want? What do I want to be doing? What kind of life do I want to be having? Am I in alignment with those wants? You know, people often want love in their life. They want to be seen. They want to be cherished. They want to be loved. They want that relationship. But then they pick to stay. They pick to stay in something that's not giving them that. They're in alignment with the lack of it rather than with actually having it. They wait for the universe to happen to them, for the universe to gift them with what they think that they want. But the thing is, if you aren't in the habit of being in alignment, guess what? The universe is going to give you what you want, and you're going to not take it because you're not in alignment with having what you want. You're in alignment with not having what you want. So you have to ask yourself, where do my behaviors choose my life? Do I pick to stay in alignment with things that damage and harm me, or things that don't enliven and enrich me, with things that don't empower me, with things that don't fulfill me? Do I choose to stay in alignment with the scarcity and the lack that I'm used to? Or do I choose to be in alignment with this life that I secretly want, although I'm scared to have it, but I think that I want to try it? Am I in alignment with taking these little steps towards my own joy, my own happiness, my own soul fulfillment? Because you are never going to be fulfilled by somebody else. The world can't just heap it upon you, fulfillment. You have to opt into it. The world will give it to you, but if you don't choose to opt into it, you're not going to have it. If you're aligning with not having it, it will show up and you still won't get it. I've seen it happen so many times. I've been a part of that lesson for other people before. And it's frustrating and sad, but the only situation that can ever happen for you is that you have to choose to have what you say you want in your life. Otherwise, you have to have the awareness that you are choosing to not have what you want in your life, and that you are more comfortable there. And that's fine. We are all allowed to make whatever choices we want in life, but our suffering comes from the lies we tell ourselves. And if you are telling yourself that you want your life to be a certain way, and you're never living in alignment with that, then you're lying to yourself. And you're choosing to resent the life you have without seeing the truth, which is that you have picked it, and that you stay choosing it, and that you can at any moment choose something else for yourself. But you're the only one who can do that. You're the only person who can ever choose to have a different life, to have all the things you say you want. It's as simple as making that decision. It's not easy. Okay? Changing the patterns of behavior that you've been in your whole life isn't easy. But it is simple, because every time you come to a decision, you make a new one that's more in alignment with the life you want inside, with who you actually are in here. Ask yourself, does who I am inside match who I am outside? Is the person inside the same as the life that I have around myself? This is a scary question. A lot of times the answer is somewhat, but not entirely. That's good, because you can see the places that you are able to be in alignment and you can learn from them. And you can see the places that you're not in alignment, and you can breathe and hold your hand and figure out what choices would you need to make differently to get there. And just because you know about those choices doesn't mean you have to make them right away. Awareness is so important. But don't let yourself off the hook permanently. Don't have the awareness and then never do anything about it. Have the awareness and let yourself make tiny steps, tiny changes. Walk yourself home to yourself. This is how we do it. And so if you've been gifted a word of the year, either from me or from yourself, or if you've channeled in your own word or you found one elsewhere, the word alignment is the perfect companion to whatever your word is, because it helps you settle up next to that word and be like, okay, my word is fun. How am I in alignment with that? Am I choosing fun? Am I choosing to see the joy? Am I choosing to see the opportunities for fun? Am I programming fun into my world? When something goes wrong, am I choosing to find the humor in it? How are you in alignment with a life that you want? How are you in alignment with the life that you don't want? This is like a laser question for you. It gets you right to the heart of it. And then what you do next is you say, okay, if I want to be happy, what would I do different? How would my external world change? How would my behaviors be different? How would my choices be different? Not every step you take on that path to alignment is going to be fun, by the way. It's not going to be great every single time. It's hard, which is probably why you haven't done it yet in all areas. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not worth it. Getting healthy, if you've had a chronic health problem, and let's say you're trying to do what you need to do to get healthy again, getting healthy is hard. Resting enough is hard. Eating the right foods is hard. Exercising is hard. Taking medication is hard. Saying, no, I can't go to that thing because I need to rest is hard. But the end result, the thing you're getting in alignment with, is your health, and that's worth it, if that's your goal. What's your goal? Do you want to have more love? Do you want to find happiness? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to have a really cool friend group? Do you want to go out to see the theater more? Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to be a writer? Are you in alignment? If not, and don't be hard on yourself if you're not, most of us aren't, at least in some areas. But if not, okay, cool. Well, that's the hardest thing for you to see, is that you're not in alignment. Now what? What choices can you make that are different that would get you into alignment? Make those choices. If you need support, hire some help. Get yourself a coach or a therapist. Go buy yourself some self-help books, or listen to some self-help podcasts, or watch some self-help YouTube videos. Figure it out for yourself. You are on your own team here, and you have to start acting like it. Do you act like your own teammate? Are you in alignment? So I just wanted to gift this to you all today, because this is the thing. This is the game changer. This is really the biggest thing that you can ask yourself when you're trying to reconnect to your life and revamp it and get into a place of empowerment from your soul. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe to my video channel here if you can, or share my videos if you're so inclined. I would really appreciate it. And leave me a comment. Mwah. Have a great week.